right, chat. We have made it to the finale on the road to Worlds of Nwpo versus Mawkzy. We have Dralii playing again. I went over the standings here a little bit before. I will very briefly go over what's at stake right now, looking at these standings. Essentially, if Mawkzy wins, he's good to go. No matter what Nwpo does, Mawkzy will have won the challenge. But if Mawkzy were to lose, it could end up mattering how many games he wins or loses. It could be in Nwpo's hand. That's what's in stake. Mawkzy wins, and he wins it all. Otherwise, it'll have to be decided by the Nwpo game. Chat, here we go. It's Mawkzy versus Dralii, the last of 10 matches that Mawkzy is going to play in this road to the World Championships against Nwpo. $1,000 on the line, and Mawkzy has the ability to make up for his loss against Dralii earlier in this exact challenge in order to secure the win. He will have finished 7-3, I believe, if he does beat Dralii in the rematch. And that will be a record that Nwpo cannot match, even if Nwpo were to win his rematch as well. The last time these guys played, Dralii beat them both. He beat them both 3-1, and that is the reason why we've brought him back here for the finale. He is clearly a tough opponent for either one of these guys to handle, but I think they have built up a little bit of confidence recently, and I'm expecting at least closer games, if not a Mawkzy and Nwpo resurgence. Dralii is playing for the same thing he was playing for last time, $100. In fact, he got $100 off of both opponents last time, walked away $200 richer, and he's looking to do that again with a couple more show match wins. That being said, Mawkzy will be the first to score here in game number 1. Grayson, thank you for the 30 months tier 1. Manifesting a Milksy L for the cinema. Yes, it will be certainly more cinematic if Mawkzy does lose, leaving the door open for Nwpo to potentially win as well. It'll be a little bit lackluster if they both lose, and then Mawkzy will be the winner if they do both lose. But 1v1 always finds a way to be cinema, and we'll just have to find out how it decides to be cinema this time around. Mawkzy, nice fake on Dralii, and then actually just fell on top of the ball and is able to get a reset there and use that reset for a little front flip finish and make it 3-0. Dralii kind of missing a wave dash landing. I saw, what placement from Mawkzy. Mawkzy is not joking around here. Somebody pointed out that Mawkzy lost in his 3rd match in this challenge and said, Feer, I promise to never lose again in order to save me some money or something, because I spend an extra $100 per time that these two potential champions lose. And I think since then, Mawkzy has been undefeated. He has fully locked in another great flick top left. Mawkzy is currently dominating. This is not, there's no better start than what Mawkzy currently has against the guy that beat him 3-1 when you played him just a few weeks ago. I saw Mawkzy warming up against apparently Jack. I bet a lot of people were probably watching that too. He was live streaming that in the hour running up to the start of this event. How were those games going against Jack? Was he looking as clinical as this, or was it just the perfect warm-up? Dralii finally going to get on the board. Has not given up here just yet. And for good reason. Dralii, I tell you what, I think there's a lot of different ways that the 1v1 World Championship could have been cinema. But I do think that one of the ways it could have been cinema is Dralii beating Mawkzy. If Dralii had beaten Mawkzy, that would just make Dralii's resume so unbelievably strong in the recent years after winning, EWC, which was the first of the many LAN wins. If he added a 1v1 World Championship, I think he would have beaten Yan. Of course, we don't know for sure. Nice play from Mawkzy through the air. I think he also would have won against Yan at LAN, and he might be playing in the World Championship as both the favorite in the 1v1 and the favorite in the 3v3. It would be some of the most dominant gameplay we've ever seen from any player. That being said, that's not what happens. Shout out Mawkzy for holding it down in 1v1 and winning in that game 7 that has allowed him to be the representative and has led to a cinema results all the same, with Mawkzy being able to play in front of the French crowd against Saudi. That has often been a storied rivalry in Rocket League. Flick for Mawkzy is going to make it 8-1. I don't know. Dralii has stopped moving after goals, which I do think is at least a slight sign of tilt. I don't know if that means he's planning to give up at any point in this game, or if he has the mental to say, you know what, I can win the second half 8-1. Sure, Mawkzy won the first half 8-1, but watch me win the second half 8-1. Nope, there it is, a random go next when he didn't just win the kickoff. He didn't win the kickoff. Looked like he was going to lose again. He'd rather not keep playing. Game number 1 goes to Mawkzy. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but if Mawkzy were to win here and close out the challenge before Nwpo had a chance to play his final round, I am going to offer the same prize that Dralii gets for playing in these games. A nice $100 prize for the next show match. Hopefully finish out the tournament all the same. And we really have to entertain that idea after this game 1 that was so incredibly Dralii favored. Or sorry, Mawkzy favored, but Dralii does score first on a nice aerial play. Mawkzy wins the second kickoff. Dralii did not want to deal with a wall to air dribble. Great adjustment from Mawkzy to recognize that Dralii was looking to cut that off, and instead of setting up anything on the wall, he just pushes the ball out past where Dralii is able to get a 50. So Dralii instead jumps himself right on top of the ball instead of behind it. I think I'm getting some lag. These guys look like they're good. My connection to this EU server has some slight lag. Everything that they have looks just fine. So ultimately, if they're good, we'll probably just play it out. Not worry about my lag to the server too much. Dralii resets. Does not connect and is not quite good enough to stop a counterattack either. If Mawkzy lost 2-3 and Nwpo won 3-2. No, I actually thought that Nwpo would win the whole thing, but I had done my math wrong. We checked right before. If Mawkzy loses game 5 and Nwpo wins game 5, it'll actually be a perfect tie in both series and games. So I will leave it up to the players in that case. Nice flick from Dralii, top shelf. We could either find a time to schedule an 11th opponent and hope that they don't have the exact same result against the 11th opponent. Or just add the prize pool for this onto the World Championship prize pool. Just 1,000 extra. Have the tiebreak be basically the LAN game. And add an ever so minuscule amount of hype to what is already a much bigger prize pool than $1,000. But hey, it shows how evenly matched they are. Dralii, nice demo. And air dribble from the back corner. Little resets at the perfect time to punish. All right, I will mention it one last time, and then I'm going to let the fellow chatters who have been here the whole time do the handling it for the rest of chat, so we don't have to talk about it too much. But Dralii is playing for $100 per best of 5. If he wins a best of 5, he's going to walk away with $100. That's what he's playing for. Mawkzy playing this one away to a sidewall air dribble. Dralii off the ceiling. Mawkzy reads it 50s, but could not get up to get the angle he needed on the shot. And Dralii actually a half flip counterattack is perfect. And he has completely turned it around after the 8-1 game 1. He now knows what he has to deal with here with Mawkzy. And he's starting to figure it out. Mawkzy gonna chase after and pick up a demo. We saw Nugget doing this a ton against Mawkzy. Getting aggressive after a kickoff, no, technically win, but oftentimes doesn't work out that way when the other player gets to the back corner first. And diving in with 0 can be really risky. And it was risky for Nugget, but it's not going to be risky for Mawkzy, who actually gets a demo and converts on it. Dralii, he definitely had the boost to get up and save this, but I wonder if he's just expecting Mawkzy to not want to try and go for this double because he's worried about Dralii stealing it away. If Dralii instantly attempted to read that at full speed, I think he taps it around Mawkzy, and therefore Mawkzy trying to follow it up could be a mistake. And I feel like Dralii was relying on that aspect of it for why he played it so passively. Nice shot from Mawkzy off the ceiling. He's got the lead right back. Another kickoff in his favor. He loves his ceiling resets. And just leaves every opportunity available. He could drop that ball to the ground, wave dash, take a shot, fake it. You see Dralii waiting out as long as he can. Kind of expecting that result, but Mawkzy gets close enough and recognizes the flip reset is going to work. So no need to fake. Mawkzy's so dangerous when he gets this ball on top of his card. We watched it from Dralii POV, who I just noticed has taken the second I out of his name again. I don't know if that's going to be permanent. I feel like most places have updated his name to double I. I think when he originally started, though, it was single I. That one is no big deal. The other one that I think, like, I'm getting worried about is SSG, or specifically Scribbles, who plays as Scribkep and has played as Scribkep for what feels like a year now. Like, at some point, they're going to have to just change his name to Scribkep. Do you really want your official name to be Scribkep? But either way, Dralii off the ceiling. Nice little touch as he got the reset as well. And then shot it crossbar down. Whether or not Dralii has two eyes or one is much less of a big deal. And then there's also Scribble's teammate, which is Koferdop. There's a few people who have added Dop to their name, presumably for K-Dop. But how long do you have to play with basically like a nickname before it just becomes your name and they just change your name to your nickname? Mawkzy, just a clean double jump, might end up being the difference here as he reads a Dralii challenge. Watch again from Dralii POV. He picks up the midfield 100. Thinks maybe I can turn in. But Mawkzy was ready for it. Justin had many names, but the problem is with the difference between Justin and his many names in this case is that Justin had so many different names and never really stuck with one. And all I'm saying is, how long does it have to stay Scribkep? Because it's been it for a while before it's just going to become the new name. Mawkzy up one with 37 seconds left to go. Trying to go up 2-0 in this series would be such a huge start, not only because it would be really tough for Dralii to reverse sweep, but also getting even 2 wins guarantees at least a tie. Actually, not necessarily at least a tie, but it is important depending on how Nwpo's game goes. He is definitely time wasting right now. As we watch it from Dralii's POV, we can see how frustrating it can be, but that little bump might create an opening. No, missed wave dash. Dralii's gonna have to dive back in. Mawkzy has no interest in giving him the ball. He wants to secure his win with his 1-goal lead. Dralii gets this rolling up the side wall, and maybe he's gonna get one more chance. No, Mawkzy will send it away. What? That shows you how much I'm lagging. How much that ball bounced. But if their connection is fine, we'll stick with it. 2-0 start for Mawkzy. Game number 3. Mawkzy has swept his last 3 opponents, I believe it is, in this challenge, and is looking to add one more sweep, which is insane to say, considering it is Dralii, a guy he struggled with early on. Maybe one of the next best 1v1ers that isn't one of the 2 that are playing in this challenge. Dralii out of the corner, has a reset, and uses it to roll through the ball and get a 1-0 lead. Oh, Dr. Professor K-Man, thank you for the 8 months Prime. Sorry. We are thanking Prime subs, if anyone has one available. Dralii maybe thought about the double jump bump, but didn't like his pop, and is able to survive this bump from Mawkzy. Did that perfectly bounce in? Oh my goodness! Doesn't get much better than that. I was thinking he was going to have to follow it up, but no, it just gets the perfect arc to bounce its way in. Mawkzy flick into the right post, pings out. as he is still looking for his first goal in game number 3. Mawkzy just hanging out on his back wall, waiting for an opportunity to get a clean possession, which he does finally do. And another potential air dribble bump attempt that I think he pulled off of, just only barely was able to score this. Almost into crossbar and out. I think that might have been an air dribble bump, but when it went too far away from himself, he recognized the right play was to pull down off of it and just prepare for the weak save that Dralii was about to get. And that weak save is because Dralii, I think, is also expecting he might get bumped. Oh, goodness. Dralii hitting Mawkzy with his own shot. Top left. Just absolutely rockets it. And there's nothing Mawkzy can do. He adds just a little bit more to it. Dralii, interesting, soft touch. At first I was trying to decide, I mean, I thought he was looking to clear this ball back into his own half, but did he get worried about Mawkzy getting ahead of it? Because you can see Mawkzy was upfield waiting for him to clear it. So did he switch to soft on purpose? I mean, it ends up not being the right play either. Probably should have just slammed it back to his corner, but hard to say. Might have been in trouble either way with such a heavy boost advantage for Mawkzy. Mawkzy, catch, fake, 50! Ooh, Dralii almost didn't get scored on here. Not easy to keep it from rolling into the nets. But he did just about as much as he could. If he could just land and get back down, might have been able to save it. But it does roll in. It almost feels like Dralii has to lead at every moment of not just this game, but the rest of the series. The way Mawkzy's been playing, he's so good at holding on to leads in a way that we just haven't really seen from the rest of the world of 1v1. Specifically playing to keep his lead as opposed to just, you know, almost playing default 1v1 for the final minutes. 2-minute 44. Certainly far too early to play that way now. But if you let him hold it down to the 1:31 minute range and let him get possession, he just punishes you all the way to the end of the game. Dralii did not pick up the corner boost. Needs that. This is just going to be a send-off of the ball that he will not be able to hold on to. Mawkzy takes it to the opposite corner of Dralii and heads to the ceiling for a reset. Oh, nice shot on target. Dralii prepared for it. Ultimately, the reset shot goes low. And Dralii, in theory, should have a better chance at saving that, but it's just too much speed. 111 kilometers per hour. Not much you can do to that. The Crizzle, name of the gifted sub. Over to X Pacifico. $5-3 now for Mawkzy. Mawkzy resets 50 to the back wall. Follow up top shelf, still not in. Did get Dralii in the air though. Dralii has enough boost to survive. Mawkzy, double jump, top left, 6-3. Since the 3-0 starts, it has been 6 straight goals for Mawkzy. And we are starting to approach a time in which Mawkzy has proven to be able to lock the game down completely and essentially end it, holding on to his leads. Oh my goodness, he somehow demoed Dralii flying upfield. I feel like Dralii was trying to get to that position to undercut him or maybe even demo him, but instead it goes in Mawkzy's favor. I want to go back and watch it, but it was a little bit too far before the goal. Ridiculous plays from Mawkzy, up 7-3 now. Dralii off the side wall, feels like a must-score situation. If he's not scoring here, Mawkzy will bleed it out with a 4-goal lead. Did have a high bounce, so not an easy position to do his classic time waste, and instead he actually makes a rare mistake, one that Mawkzy does not make very often. And surely he's not about to get away with it, right? Yeah, he does not get away with it. So it will be a kickoff. Mawkzy Didn't want to bring that bouncing ball into a carry. Instead, played into the air dribble. And then handed a freebie over to Dralii, who is going to get another one. He should have no trouble getting his 5th goal. Still, Mawkzy has done such a good job at building a cushion that he should be able to control 1 or 2 or the next kickoff and be okay. But, I mean, this kickoff not in his favor either. Dralii going to pick up the back corner. Mawkzy picks up the midfield 100. Can Dralii 50 this in? He's going to try to. First one not in and not good enough in order to steal Mawkzy's boost. Mawkzy intercepted. What does Dralii have in store? Mawkzy's going to tee it up high. Dralii pretty good at handling these. Has the reset. Going for a second reset. Denied. And most importantly, completely out of boost. And this is the world in which Mawkzy will not let you back. Dralii needed to score on every single possession. Low 50. Can Mawkzy get back to this? No, what a demo! Dralii manages to make something out of this by snagging the demo as Mawkzy looks to return to the play. Dralii turned and he side flip demoed him. Just barely keeping this alive. 21 seconds left to go. A slight offset kickoff. Will we see a delay or any sort of mix-up? It is a delay from Dralii. Mawkzy reads it, chips it around him. Dralii has to go get boost. There's no way he makes a play without 100. Picks up the midfield 100 and now has the ball in a carry, but it's in front of the nets. Has to save every last bit of boost if he wants to stand a chance. Gets bumped by Mawkzy. Mawkzy should be able to roll it away and keep it grounded. I'm not sure we could see Dralii return to this. It'll roll up back wall last second. Mawkzy trying to fake it to let it hit the ground, and then we'll slam it away. It's a sweep for Mawkzy. And he is your champion in the road to Nwpo versus Mawkzy $1,000 challenge. My goodness. Mawkzy promised to not lose again, and he did not lose again. Did he not lose a game since he told me he wouldn't lose again? I guess he lost a couple games. He's lost a couple games since he promised not to lose again. But he's on 4 straight sweeps. Now, to be fair, Nwpo could be on 4 straight sweeps as well.